Everyone, today we are going to see a demo of Receipt Agent, which is a personal expense tracking application which eliminates the manual work of logging your receipts or calculating your expenses on different categories. So instead of doing the manual work, you can simply upload a photo of your expense receipt and the application would automatically categorize by extracting the important details from the receipt and categorize and store all the expense data for you. To use it, you need to simply use this front end by uploading your receipt and providing your home city and state. You need to just drop in the receipt image and hit extract receipt button. That's it. Within seconds, you will get a fully structured breakdown of your every purchase that you make in the uploaded receipt. One of the core features of this application is the distinction between a regular expense and a travel expense. When you set the home city in the front end, the application will use it as your base location. So when your receipt gets uploaded, it gets geocoded based on the merchant's city. In this case, if you see on the image, or if you see on the screen right hand side, the receipt is from Frisco, Texas, and your home city is Mountain View, California. So it would check that if the purchase was made beyond a configured distance threshold from your home city, it would be automatically flagged as a travel expense. Why is this important? Because the expenses are often tracked separately as travel or probably for reimbursement or for tax purposes or budgeting. So instead of manually tagging every out of town purchase, the application would automatically handle based on where you actually were. So, for regular expense, every line item from the receipt would be classified into individual categories using three-tier system, wherein tier 1 covers the most common everyday categories like groceries, dining, transport, health and medical, home and household, personal care, and many such. So, if none of these categories qualify, it would move to next tier, which is tier 2, which would cover less frequent categories. For example, electronics, fitness, sports, pet care, education, parties and celebration, and so on. As a last resort, Tier 3 handles the edge cases, for example, alcohol and tobacco, subscription, home services, and few other which are unidentified, which would require a written reason explaining why it is an unnamed category. So this tiered approach helps the categorization accurate without overwhelming the system. Now let's take a quick look by uploading this particular receipt. So we'll click, we have set the home city as Mountain View, state as California. This receipt would be passed to LLM for extraction and the data would be fetched as a JSON response. So let's upload the receipt and click naturals and say open, and we'll click extract receipt button. The data is sent to LLM model, which is Claude Sonnet in this case. And if you see, the receipt has the application has successfully extracted that this location was 1450 miles away from home, which is Frisco, Texas. The purchase was made on 1st of May with merchant natural rolls and ice cream, as we can see in the receipt. There's an important field called as confidence. Now we'll talk about this in a moment, but it is basically how reliable the data extraction of the image was. Then we have the line items under this particular thing. Now since this had nothing, it took the line item as the merchant name and said purchase. The quantity was 1 and it was categorized as travel because it was more than 50 miles away from home location. The amount for this particular category was $13.98. which where we add tax as $1.15, tip as $2.27, and then the final total $17.40. Now let's take a look at the JSON response. So if we take a look at the JSON response, we have different fields here. The most important field that we see is merchant name, which matches the receipt, the merchant city and state, the date of purchase that was made. It was made in store. It can be an online receipt from, let's say, Amazon. Location found, and then whether it is categorized as travel receipt. Yes, the travel reason was distance. Now there is an important field called as confidence, which is high, which is set to high. It tells you how reliable that data extraction of receipt was. If it had a low confidence, then it would need a manual correction. So this is basically an important reason, and it would also give you a reason why the confidence is low in case. If it is a low confidence extraction of receipt, then it would need a require human review, which means it needs a human intervention to review the expense. So based on that, we have couple of important fields and other important fields. So we also have field level confidence. So for as an example, this particular line item that we had, we could successfully read it, but there could be multiple line items, and out of those line items there would be few fields which we would not be able to read because of some or the other reason. So that is why we also have a field level confidence here. Then we have other important individual categories like subtotal, tax, tip, total, and the overall category summary for this expense was classified as travel. The total amount was $17.05. So that's it for this application. um, Basically it uses under the hood, the extraction goes through an LLM, which is Claude Sonnet, and it goes through a two tier validation mechanism. One is schema validation first, and then the Claude Opus Judge, which stores the accuracy before it is saved to the database. This entire application was built using React as front end, Python Fast API as backend, saving the data to Postgres SQL, and it was deployed on Railway with two independent services. So I hope you enjoyed the demo. The extension of this particular application could be, instead of using LLM for the image extraction, you could use it for you could rather go for something wherein you use OCR for image extraction. You also have certain different dashboards, monthly dashboards, annual dashboards, and the receipts that you would have uploaded so far. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.